Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another perspective. This is a channel where we talk about issues that you're not going to hear on CNN, you're not going to hear on MSNBC, but we talk about the real topics on this channel. Okay, like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about it. Spread the word because this is really interesting topics. And we're looking into topics from another perspective. Okay, we're looking at topics from another perspective. Dun, 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 dun. We need to get some music going. Okay. Hey guys, this is your girl Mercedes. This is me. And we're getting ready to go into some interesting topics this morning. The topic this morning is we are not going back. We are not going back. They are trying to cut back the Voting Rights Act. They got rid of DEI. They're trying to stop SNAP, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act. Okay, they're trying to cut back on all these programs right now, and we are not going back. Not going back. We're not going backwards. We come too far in this country right now. The current administration is really trying to kick back. I think is really trying to take us back to the old days, if you know what I mean. Back to the 50s and 60s. Okay, that was before I was born. But we're not going back to the old days. We're not going back to the old days. We're not going back. We are not going back. Period. So if they think that they're going to take us back to the cotton fields, we're not going back to the cotton fields. And see, I think the current administration
In this video, we bring you
is
Kamala Harris's.
is trying to take us back. You know what I'm saying, to the old days. And like I said, we're not trying to go back to that. So they can get another idea if that's what they think.
National Convention, where she formally accepts the nomination for president. Harris
We're
highlighted
not going back.
Our nation with this election has a precious, fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past, a chance to chart a new way forward.
This is the lady that they should have voted for.
Not
Because
as members
this
of
lady tried to
any
tell
one
them. She tried to
party or
tell them,
faction, but as Americans.
but they didn't want to listen.
And let me say
Okay? They did not want to listen when this lady tried to tell them that we're trying to forge a new path forward. Okay? We're not trying to go back to the old days. So, number one, let's discuss the Voting Rights Act. Why are they trying to redistrict people? Why are they trying to cut back on the Voting Rights Act? Okay, when people fought so hard for their rights. Okay, people fought so hard for their rights, and now they want to take you way back. Okay, they want to take you back to the old days. They want to go back to, you know what I'm trying to say. This man, y'all wonderful president that y'all voted into office, you know what I'm saying? I think him and has his administration, okay, I think they have an agenda that they're trying to push in this country. But see, here on another perspective, we're going to give you like a deeper insight into what is really going on here so you can see. You understand what I'm saying? So, people fought hard. People fought hard for their right. People fought hard for them to get their rights to vote, and now this is what they're going to do. They're trying to redistrict people in certain cities, okay, and in certain areas. That what they're trying to do is they're trying to redistrict people. They're trying to redistrict people. Now, this is a picture of John Lewis when he was fighting for their voting rights back in the day. People got arrested. It's how hard that people actually fought. Martin Luther King and all these people, they fought very hard for their rights. And now what they're trying to do is they're trying to kick it back. They're trying to kick it back. They're trying to take you back to the olden days where people had to fight. John Lewis, see what I'm saying? They fought. This is John Lewis. You know, he's getting the Medal of Freedom, the highest honor for a civilian person by the President Obama. This is John Lewis. And John Lewis is one of the biggest people that fought in this country for voting rights. And now they want to take your rights away. So they're doing it strategically. I'm just putting the word out there. They are doing it strategically. They are doing it on the low. They're doing it strategically. So you can't really realize what is going on. You can't realize what's really going on. See, you can't, they're trying to fix it so a way that you don't know. But they're doing it very strategically. Okay? They're doing it very, very strategically. So I don't know if this is what they're really trying to go back to. But see, the people of nowadays, they're not going back to this. Like, people done got their education. People done fought hard. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want people to learn how to read. They didn't want these people to learn how to write. So they start, number one, with the Voting Rights Act. Kicking back the Voting Rights Act. Okay, that's what they're doing. And they're doing it very strategically. Very strategically. They're doing it very strategically. Okay? They're doing it very strategically. Because they really don't want people to really realize what they're... People better wake up. People better wake up and try to see what it is that they are really trying to do. Okay? People need to wake up. Because I don't know if this is what they think that they're going to go back to. I mean, I don't think people can really go back to the physical labor of what they used to do, because you have machines and stuff now that do the work that these people used to do. So I don't really think that they can really, go all the way back, like, let's say, to, the physical labor, the physical manual labor of it. But, you have modern day. You have what you call the modern day stuff. The modern day stuff. And I mean, there's people that just fought too hard. There's people that they just got arrested. A lot of people got killed. I mean, people just fought too hard for them to try to take your rights back now. This thing is written in law. The Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, these are voted in law. Just like abortion. Abortion was like precedent, set precedent. And your president, he put people in there. He voted people on the Supreme Court that he knew was going to get rid of abortion, that was going to take people's rights away. So whatever your personal opinion is about all these different issues is one thing. But we are here to let people know, to give you a whole nother perspective of what's going on. That's why I feel like this channel is really important. I'm trying to, spread the word about it, because people need to be informed and people need to know what is really going on. So they're trying to low key take your rights back. And I know they're going to be targeting certain neighborhoods, certain cities, and certain areas where they know that there's certain types of people that live in those particular areas. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to try to redistrict people and make it harder for people to vote. That's what they're doing. So they're trying to take your voting rights, okay? And, I don't understand why they're doing it, okay? You got people like Martin Luther King, and you got all these people that they fought so hard. They fought so hard so these people would have their rights. And now they're just trying to take your rights away from you. They're trying to redistrict in certain places so people won't even be able to vote. Like, they're not going to come right out and say, well, oh, you can't vote. Yeah, we're going to deny you the right to vote. They're not going to come right out and say it. But what I'm trying to let people know is they're going to try to do it very, very low key. Very, very low key. They're going to try to do it low key. So you can't really, see what they're doing. But if you're smart, you can pretty much figure it out. Like, you can figure out what's really going on. And there's a lot of things that's going on in the country today that the average person can't see and the average person does not realize. Okay? That's the voting rights. Okay? So now, it's just a lot of stuff that's going on of people in the nowadays, what's going on. And a lot of people might not really, there's some people that you have some of these educational scholars, they might realize what's going on. But I think, okay, this is a picture of the current Supreme Court that's currently in power now. You know what I'm saying? You have Justice Sotomayor, you know what I'm saying? You have Elena Kagan, you have Clarence Thomas, you have all of these people. Brett Kavanaugh, Ketanji, John Roberts, he's the Chief Justice. But I really believe that your president put certain people on the Supreme Court that he knew was going to push his agenda, okay? He put certain people on the Supreme Court. I honestly feel, I want people to come on and give their comments and just talk about what they feel like and your personal experience. I want to hear about people's personal experiences. Like, what they actually been through in their lives, if they really have experienced any of this type of stuff. Like, if you live in a certain area and you're registered to vote and they push you away, they say, or they try to redistrict you. They try to tell you that you have to go to another place and vote, or another area where you used to vote. So, it's just crazy out here. But he put certain people on that Supreme Court that he thought that was going to push his agenda. Okay? He put certain people on that Supreme Court that he thought was going to push his agenda. That's exactly what he did. Y'all president. And I don't understand how people voted for this. This is what a lot of y'all people voted for. This is what a lot of y'all voted for. Okay? This is what y'all voted for. So now, don't bring up the issues now that, I don't know. But there's some people that actually voted for what's going on now. And they're like, oh my gosh, why did I vote for these people? Why did I vote for these people? I had to be crazy. But I didn't vote for your current administration. Okay? I didn't vote for your current. This is Brett Kavanaugh. Okay? This is one of the guys. It's one of the people that he put on the Supreme Court. And Brett Kavanaugh, he's young. He's probably like, I don't know. When he first came on there, I think he was like 50. So he's probably like 57 now, 58. He's fairly young. When he first got nominated for the Supreme Court, I think he was like 50 years old. He was like in his early 50s. So I'm like, why? I'm like, he's too young to be having these negative, views about stuff. He was accused of attempted rape, but the Republicans just wanted to go ahead and rush him on the Supreme Court. They wanted to go ahead and just push him on there. This is your great Brett Kavanaugh. Donald Trump nominates him. Your president nominates him for the Supreme Court. Okay. So I'm just like, he put people on the Supreme Court that he knew was going to push his agendas. Okay. There's only 3 topics we're talking about. First is the voting rights. Okay. Amy Coney Barrett. Okay, she's the next one that he put on there. There's three people that he nominated. Your current president. There's three people that he currently nominated to put on the Supreme Court. Okay, that was Brett Kavanaugh. Now this is Amy Coney Barrett. She's young. She's a young lady. She's not really that old. She's probably like in her 40s, early 50s. So these are young people. And I am so surprised, so surprised, so surprised. And with the issue, this is Amy Coney Barrett. So these are some of your president's current nominees of the Supreme Court. Okay? There's 9 justices on the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? There are 9 justices on the Supreme Court. Okay? So there's 3 people that he nominated, okay, that he nominated for the Supreme Court. Your current president, okay? He wanted to put people on there that was going to push his agenda. Okay? Neil Gorsuch. He's the next one. Neil Gorsuch. Let me pull up his picture. Neil Gorsuch. So he's the third one. He's the third one that Donald Trump nominated for the Supreme Court. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying he wanted to choose people. This is Neil Gorsuch. Gorsuch, am I pronouncing his name right? Neil Gorsuch. Okay? This is the third person that Donald Trump nominated for the Supreme Court. So far he has 3 people that he nominated, that he put on there. There's 4 women on the Supreme Court now, which is good. It's good that they have, 4 women on there now. Amy Coney Barrett, Sonia Sotomayor, Ellen Kagan, and Ketanji Brown. So now they got 4 women on there now, which is really a good thing. That's good. They made a little bit of progress. But these are his 3 nominees right here. Neil Gorsuch, okay, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. So these are 3 choices that your current president put on there. And when it comes to stuff like voting rights, when it comes to stuff like abortion, when it comes to these certain issues, I feel that he put certain people on there. Okay, he nominated certain people to the Supreme Court that he felt was going to push his agenda. Number 2, DEI. DEI. Got rid of DEI. He got rid of DEI. Okay? You got rid of DEI. You got rid of that. It's for diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what DEI is, okay? DEI is equity, okay? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what DEI stands for, okay? It's kind of like affirmative action. Now, people feel like these type of programs are just going to put in people of color, let's say African American, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, Native American, different people of different cultural backgrounds that would not have, otherwise had the opportunity to go to these type of schools or to be in these type of programs. So DEI, I feel, is just a way of just trying to get a little bit more people of color a chance or opportunity for a certain, go to these schools, jobs, and something like that. It's not that they're not qualified, okay? It's not that they're not qualified. It's just the fact that these programs are just trying to help people, give people of color, like I said, African Americans, Hispanics, people that would not have otherwise had an opportunity. Like, let's say to go to school like Harvard, or let's say to go to school like Yale. You know what I'm saying? So Harvard University really, I'm very proud of Harvard University because Harvard University is really fighting. They went against the administration. They wanted to keep DEI. That's what I heard, unless I heard it wrong. Harvard University. So they fought back, and then he stops funding to Harvard University because he has a bone to pick with Harvard University. So he's going to stop funding to Harvard University. Harvard University don't care because they fought back on all his policies. Okay, Harvard University. So I said I have a new respect for Harvard University actually because they actually was standing up to the current administration because if I hope I don't have my information wrong, but Harvard University is just not going along with it. So there's three topics I wanted to touch on this morning: the Voting Rights Act and DEI. He wanted to get rid of DEI. They're trying to scale back the Voting Rights Act. Third, all the programs that they're trying to get rid of: SNAP, Medicaid, the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. They're trying to. It's not just about SNAP because a lot of people are focusing on SNAP, and yeah, they're trying to scale back SNAP. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of misinformation out here because I hear a lot of people out here, and I watch a lot of other people's channels, and I'm watching what a lot of other people are saying about different issues that's going on in the world today. And I watch different people's channels, and I, listen to different people and see what different people are talking about. And a lot of people are trying to say that some people are abusing the system, people are just using SNAP. People need to stop pushing false information. Okay, you may have a few. That's one thing I really wanted to clarify because there's a lot of misinformation out here. Like there's a lot of people pushing this narrative that, a lot of people are going along with it because they're like, yeah, they need to get rid of SNAP. But you have disabled people, you have senior citizens, you have veterans. You know what I'm saying? I'm a veteran myself. So you have veterans out here, disabled people, your senior citizens that are dependent on these programs. So you can't just completely get rid of them. You can't just completely scale them back. You know what I'm saying? Because, whatever. Okay. I heard people saying stuff like, oh, some people are just taking a low wage job. They're taking a low paying job, so they can continue to collect SNAP benefits. I think that's a lie. That's a lie. I don't think you might have one or two people that are doing that, but I think most people are dependent on these programs, not because they really just want to depend on these programs, not because this is just their, SNAP. This is a picture of, SNAP benefits. I don't think that people are doing that. I don't think that people are doing that. And there's some misinformation out here that I really want to clarify in defense of people that have children, people that have families, and most people that get SNAP, they work. They actually work. And they tell you that you have to work a certain amount of hours to continue to get SNAP. There are certain stipulations. It's like you don't just get SNAP. And anybody, you just go up to the human resource department and you tell them, I want to apply for SNAP. Oh, I want SNAP. And boom. They're just going to give it to you like that. It don't even work like that. There's certain stipulations in order for people to get SNAP. This is another perspective. I'm just letting y'all see the sign here. This is another perspective. Yeah, so everybody that's on these benefits like Medicaid, Medicare, they're trying to cut back on all of these programs. And I think it's because they believe that mostly Black and brown people, African Americans, Hispanics, Latinos, Indians, I think they are cutting back on these programs because they think there's a narrative in the United States today, in such a great country like the United States. And it's a shame what they're trying to do. And I feel like the current administration, they're scaling back on these benefits because they know that certain people, or they think that certain people rely on these programs. So that's why they're trying to scale back on these programs. That's why they're trying to scale back. Okay? That's why they're trying to scale back. There's going to be a second part to this video that I'm going to do later on. It's going to be about the Department of Education, how he tried to dismantle the Department of Education. And I'm going to come on there and talk about later on why I feel he tried to dismantle the Department of Education. So the voting rights, okay, DEI, and SNAP, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act. Oh, don't get me started on the Affordable Care Act. Do not get me started on the Affordable Care Act. The reason why he's trying to scale back the Affordable Care Act is because, number one, his arch rival, Barack Obama, you know, was able to pass. I'm going to pull up a picture of y'all great president, Mr. Obama. Okay. He came out with the Affordable Care Act. He was the first president in decades. Barack Obama. Y'all have a great, wonderful president like Barack Obama. And now y'all come down to what y'all have now. Okay? Which is a mess, what y'all have going on now. Okay? This is a mess. This is Barack Obama. This is your wonderful, great president, Barack Obama. And he was the first person that came out with the Affordable Care Act. He was able to get the ACA passed. And now that's reasonable. Low cost. Low cost low cost medical insurance, whereas people would have been paying hundreds, close to $1,000 a month in some cases for medical insurance. And this man, Barack Obama, great president, he came out with the Affordable Care Act. Okay? In 2009, okay? He was able to pass the Affordable Care Act. You know what I'm saying? Nancy Pelosi, she was the speaker. The Democrats, and this is the reason, a lot of people don't realize, it's a lot of things that I could talk about, but I'm just going to try to be very brief and just try to sum it all up, but it's so much. I'm going to do a second part of this, which I'm going to talk about the Department of Education, how he tried to dismantle the Department of Education, because he knows that a lot of, I'm going to say minorities, African American, Latinos, Asians, he knows a lot of minority groups depend on, FAFSA, let's say, federal aid, to go to school. I feel like he knows that a lot of people from various cultural backgrounds depend on the Department of Education to go to school. And that's why I believe he tried to dismantle the Department of Education. That's why I believe he tried to dismantle the Department of Education. SNAP, Medicaid, Affordable Care Act, voting rights. These are key programs that he tried to cut back because I feel that he knows that people, and see, people thought that he was great. You have people that say, oh, he's not racist. Oh, well, why did he not rent to African American people back in the day? And he was over that real estate in Queens. Well, his father had all the real estate in Queens. Okay, Fred Trump, his father. He had all the real estate in Queens, but they say, if anybody want to debate me, hey, I'm ready to have the debates, because this is the most important thing. This is more important than listening to hip hop music and all this other stuff. I talk about different things. I'm going to talk about sports and what they do to African American quarterbacks in the NFL. That's another topic that I'm going to touch on, because these issues, that's why I'm trying so hard to advertise this channel, because these are important issues that I feel needs to be spoken about. Okay? So they're not going to tell you this stuff. These mainstream platforms, CNN and MSNBC, I like CNN because, I go on there and listen to CNN and, see what they're talking about. But in a lot of respects, CNN and MSNBC is not going to tell you this type of stuff. Like the type of stuff that we're talking about here on this channel, CNN and MSNBC, they're not going to tell you about a lot of the stuff that I'm saying. Oh, you're not going to hear about this on CNN, baby. They're going to be telling you about what's going on and yada, yada, yada. But, they're not going to come out and tell you it like I'm actually bringing it to you. Okay? They're not going to come out and tell it to you this way. But yeah. So everybody, look at the key issues. Just keep your eyes out on the news. Keep listening to what's going on and what they're saying. I wanted to really clarify some things about SNAP, misinformation that people are putting out here on YouTube. I've heard a lot of people out here on YouTube talking about SNAP and talking about how people are, people got expensive clothes and expensive phones, but they still trying to get SNAP benefits and all this type of stuff. You might have a few people that's abusing the system. And I'm not going to say that there's not people that abuse the system, because I'm pretty sure there are a few people out here that probably are abusing the system. Okay? But not everybody. It's people that are really in a situation where they're really trying to do better. They might be trying to get off the system. They might be trying to get a better job. They might be trying to go back to school. They might be trying to do things to try to better their lives and better themselves. But they get SNAP benefits. So how are you going to say that, oh, they just dependent on SNAP, or they just dependent on these programs because they just want to be dependent on these programs? That's not true. So that's something I really definitely wanted to clarify, because there's a lot of misinformation out here that people are saying that people are just getting SNAP because they just want to get SNAP, and where most people that get SNAP work because you have to work, especially if you're a single able-bodied person. Now, if you're disabled, you can get it. If you're a veteran, you can get it. They don't put stipulations on veterans or disabled people or senior citizens. If you're senior citizens, can get it as well. So you have these certain groups of people that get these programs. They're not abusing the system. They're not abusing the system. So that's why I'm saying they can't just totally eliminate SNAP. They can't. They can't just totally eliminate it. And a judge ruled. I heard a judge ruled and told his butt, you know who I'm talking about, and told his butt that they had to go on ahead and give them people their benefits. They had to go on ahead now and give those people their benefits by a certain amount of time. A judge ruled, and I want to find out who that judge is. I want to find out who that judge is that ruled that they had to go ahead and give those people their benefits, and that's good, because there's finally some people that is standing up to this administration. There's some people that are standing up to this. This is a picture of MSNBC. So I was just showing people that MSNBC and CNN, they're not going to tell you stuff that we're telling you on this channel. And CNN is just full of crap, because CNN got rid of a lot of their good anchors. CNN got rid of a lot of their good anchors, and I don't understand why they did that. But that's another story that we definitely can, another topic that we definitely can touch upon. Okay, this is some of your people from MSNBC. The MSNBC is good. I like MSNBC. I like CNN. Okay, they're very informative. But we're just going to give you a deeper look into some of these things that's going on. Okay, so I basically just want you guys to keep your eyes out, keep your eyes and your ears open, spread the word, like, share, and subscribe to Another Perspective, because on this channel, I'm going to do a part 2. It's going to be about the Department of Education. But I'm going to specifically talk about the Department of Education and how he tried to cut from the Department of Education. Okay? How he tried to cut. So these are programs that people really rely on, and I don't think that people, like I said, there's so much information out here that I'm watching other people's channels and I'm hearing what other people are talking about. This is me, your girl Mercedes. So I'm watching a lot of other people's channels and I'm listening to what a lot of other people are saying. And I'm saying there's a lot of misinformation that's being pushed out here. So I really wanted to clarify the fact that I don't think most people are abusing the system. You have some people that are abusing it, but I honestly don't think that everybody is. Like, I honestly don't think that everybody's abusing the system. So they need to stop really putting that false information out there, saying that, people are abusing the system, and they're actually agreeing with the administration. Okay? Are they actually agreeing with the administration for cutting back on these programs? So I'm just giving you guys a little bit to think about. Okay, the Voting Rights Act. Just trying to make sure I touch on 3 topics that I want to touch on. The Voting Rights Act, DEI, diversity and inclusion, and SNAP, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act. Okay, I just want to make sure that I touched on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is your girl Mercedes. This is your girl Mercedes, and we're signing off. So we're going to have a part 2 that's going to be about the Department of Education. All right, guys, take it easy. Like, share, and subscribe. Just spread the word about this channel and what we're talking about. Okay, guys, peace.